A three-step outlining process might seem a little excessive, but you have to remember that Virgo is not only my sun sign, but also my moon, Mercury, and Venus signs, so organization is kind of my lifeblood at this point. Hello everybody, my name is Danny and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be explaining to you guys my three-step outlining process, which brings me from the initial idea all the way to getting ready to draft it. So the first step is the brainstorm. Originally, this just started as me word vomiting all of my different ideas onto a page and not even trying to make it coherent and all fit together. It's just any thought that I had pertaining to this particular project, I would write it down and try and figure it out later. In the past year or so, it's kind of evolved to have a lot more moving parts. Now I do things like make playlists for my story and mood boards for different characters and locations. I make Pinterest boards to make sure I get into the vibe of the story, and it's just a whole lot of stuff, just getting my ideas out of my brain and into a place where I can see it. It very much focuses on themes and vibes and aesthetics rather than actual plot or characters. It might have a little bit going on in there, but for the most part, it's all just big picture stuff and nothing specific. The second step in outlining for me is the beat sheet, and that's where I take all of the brainstorming from step one and kind of mush it together to try and make it something that resembles a story. I like to use the Save the Cat beat sheet for this because it is comprehensive without being overly detailed and formulaic, but I do take other things into account, like the hero's journey is one that I really like to use, and other types of structures, and this is where I just get my basic ideas out. For example, the first beat in the Save the Cat beat sheet is the opening image, so I'll just put down, these characters are here and they're talking about this certain thing, and that's it. I don't get into any really nitty-gritty details. Those details do come about once I get to step 3, which is the actual outline. So that's when I take the beat sheet and I break it down further into specific scenes or chapters, and I detail out what all of those scenes and chapters are going to entail. Now, those breaks into scenes and chapters are not really the best places to break them up, and I understand that. It's just more for my organizational purposes, and then when I get further down into drafting and redrafting, the breaks are probably going to change. So whereas the beat sheet might say something like, these two characters fight this monster and they get away, but character A has an injury, the outline would then break that down into saying where this fight takes place and what specific injury occurs, how it happens, how they end up getting away from the monster, all those little details. Since this is the final step in my outlining process before I actually get to drafting my story, I like to take my time on it and make sure I really know my characters and I'm happy with how the story progresses from point A to point B. And something important to note is that this outline is not the be-all end-all of my story. It's very often happened where I write down chapter 1 and I get to the end and I realize that what I originally outlined for chapter 2 shouldn't come right after, and I need another chapter or scene to bridge that gap, and so it kind of just comes out of my brain because I didn't outline it before. That happens pretty much every single draft I do. And then obviously things will change when I get to future drafts and rewrites, but for the most part, when I get to this outlining stage, it's the story that I want to tell, and it's the story that I will do my best to draft so that everyone else can see it. And that's really it. Despite having several parts for something that should be pretty much straightforward, it's kind of simple when you go from step 1 to step 2 to step 3. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and comment down below, are you an outliner or are you more of a pantser? Do you have a complicated outline system, or do you just write down a couple of bullet points on what you want and then you're good to go? Feel free to subscribe to my channel for more content, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!